Michael Dunn Center values your time as a conservator and consequently utilizes systems that make your documentation requirements quick and efficient so that you can spend the majority of your time with people, educating yourself on their needs and making valuable decisions. So here's how a typical day might proceed as a conservator. Your day begins by receiving a phone call about Lucy. You speak to personnel about her situation and are on the phone from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And then from 10 to 11, you review her record and provide email consent. As soon as you complete these tasks, you make a note about what you just did so you don't forget to record it in the system. Since most people have a smartphone, you can easily record your notes with your phone. Some people like to put a note in their calendar so they have a record of the days they worked. Then at 11 o'clock, you hop onto a Zoom training about conservatorship services that you were told will benefit you. The training lasts 30 minutes. When you get through, you also just jot down the time on your notes. At 1 o'clock, you attend a Circle of Support meeting for Jordan. Since this is the first time you have left your home, this meeting location will serve as your initial workplace, and it would not be necessary to record your travel time to the meeting. You stay at the facility for 2 hours for the meeting. After the meeting is completed, you make a quick note of this work. At 3 p.m., you travel to Jordan's home for a visit. It takes you 30 minutes to get there. You make a quick note of your travel time when you arrive so you can be paid for this time as well. At 3:30, you visit with Jordan in his home and speak with his staff. Your visit lasts until 4:30. You make another quick note of this work. At 4:30, you leave Jordan's home and head back to yours. It takes you 30 minutes to get home. You make another quick note of this travel time. Now that all of your visits are over, it's time to convert your notes to the EasyPro system. Grab your laptop and bring up EasyPro. For Michael Dunn Center, you simply go to tymus.michaeldunncenter.org, then type in your username and password. Now please keep in mind that conservators never have to clock in on this system. That's because every time you document a service, the timekeeping system will automatically capture your work time. So please don't click on the clock in icon. Instead, just go to People Served and then Community Living Note. From here, you will select a program. You will always select Conservatorship Services. This brings up the Conservator Services note. Now it's time to record what you did today. You received a call about Lucy, so go ahead and find her in the drop-down menu and then verify that the date of your note is today's date. Now choose the shift in which you provided services and then her address. Now click on Enter Services, and then on the next screen, click Edit. Under Service Plan, click on Phone Call, Text, Email. Then under Activity, you can leave it blank or you could click Other. And then Location, click Home. Then type in the time you were on the phone, from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Don't worry about assigned vehicle. Just type in the field a quick note about your phone call. Let us know any specific elements that you believe would be helpful to include in the record and anything you may want to recall in the future about this phone call. Please keep in mind, if you learn something that should be reported, you are obligated to make the proper notifications. Now click Save. You'll be notified that your documentation has been properly recorded. Click Enter Services again. Now click on Edit to type in the next service field. Now you just enter your next set of services. For this one, you did a record review and then provided consent. So click on that option and then fill out the fields as we did earlier. Now type in the time you spent on reviewing the record and the time you spent in providing the needed consent. If you're paying close attention, you just noticed that I typed in the wrong time here. I did this so you can see how to go back and edit mistakes that you might make in the future. Now type in your narrative about what you learned when you reviewed the file and provide as much information as you feel could be helpful. Once you have completed your narrative, simply click on Save. You've completed your documentation on Lucy now. Next, you need to document the training you engaged in. Do this just like any other service. You can click on any person's name that you serve. It doesn't really matter for training because any training you receive benefits every person that you serve. So just choose a service recipient for this. Make sure the date is correct and identify a shift in which you received training, and then identify an address. Your agency's address is fine to use. Make sure Conservator Services is listed and then click on Enter Services. Now choose Training as the service plan and then skip Activity or choose Other. For location, choose Home and then list the times you received the training. Provide a little information about the training and what you learned. If there was a cost associated with the training, please add that and any other information that you would find helpful. Now click Save. Next, you are ready to document the time you spent attending Jordan's individual support plan meeting. Make sure you have selected the right person and the correct date, the shift, and location. Now click on Enter Services and edit your entry. Choose Individual Support Planning from the drop-down menu. You can skip Activity and Assistance and click on Agency for the location, assuming you attended the ISP at the agency. Then enter the time you spent at the meeting. You can now enter your narrative about the meeting and any issues that were addressed in the meeting, and now click Save. Next, click Enter Services again and record the travel time you conducted when you left the agency and went to Jordan's home. Click Edit, then choose Travel Time, and for location, Agency, and then the time you spent in travel. Provide any narrative appropriate for this entry, and then save. Now you need to record the time you spent at his home. I know this process is beginning to look redundant to you. You're thinking, why don't I just make one entry for all of the services I provided for Jordan for this day? Please don't do that. Some of your work is billable to our funding sources, and some of it is not. If you combine everything you do for a client, it is possible that improper billing will take place. So take the time and record services separately. You now have recorded from 3:30 to 4:30 that you visited Jordan at his home and provided a few salient points in your narrative, and then click Save. Now finally record the travel you conducted when you left his home to your last destination. Complete it as we did on the prior travel submission, and now click Save. You've completed all of your documentation, but please keep in mind that you can edit any of this information if you need to. Take another really close look at what you entered and verify that your times and categories are correct, as well as all the other information you entered. Now another important step is to check your time clock. Verify before you stop for the day that the system has properly recorded all of your time. This is the last check you can perform to double verify your entries. Aha! Look, I just noticed that I made a mistake on my second entry. So I go back into the People Served area and edit the note I put in for Lucy. You could edit it the same way we entered services since you were doing it the same day, but you could also click on Review Notes at the top and scroll down to Conservator Services and then select the entry you need to edit. In this case, you just need to change the time entry error you made. Now save, and the system automatically updates. When you go back into timekeeping, you see that the edit was made. The correction you made is now at the bottom of the timesheet, but all the time is correct, and the total time is correct. Before you log out of the system, please check your email. If you check it each day, then nothing will creep up on you, and you can easily keep your inbox uncluttered. Now just log out and rest assured that all of your work is documented and easily retrievable by you and your other team members. Good job.